Okay. I'll put in. Let's try this. Show. Don't understand what this is, bro. Okay. So, text me a code. Let's go to the post office. This is crazy. Okay, guys. Post office it is. Where's that going? It's running me. Running me right back anyway. So you might as well go this way. Let's see what 50 Gang up to.
Check out empty phone. Please hold while I try to connect you.
Give you a ticket.
Hey, Bobby.
Hey, thought I'd call you back.
How's everything going? Yeah,
it's nice and sunny and bright.
Oh.
You don't see my dot?
I've seen it earlier, but no, I just couldn't time. Hold on, I was in the middle of something.
I'm in Fairmont, Georgia. Remember I told you I had to get up?
Yeah.
Now I'm headed to Douglasville.
Oh, you picked up another one?
Oh, yeah. I gotta stop at this post office in town. Drop off this eBay part. Hope I don't pass it. Town so look.
Mm.
What that say? Advent Health and Mind. I'm looking for the post office. It's the cremation funeral home. So how's it going? You there?
Yeah, I'm here. I was just in the middle of something. Yeah, everything is good. Everything is good. I didn't take out anything to eat. I just wasn't in a mood to cook anything.
Did the baking soda work?
Not yet. I mean, yeah, before I left, like, but not like now. Yeah, before, oh yeah, honey, before I left, definitely. Definitely. Jenny's keep pulling, so I pulled out that gift card. I don't know who gave it to us to find out, what, like, where this gift card is good at, because it has so many different things on there. And I was gonna just let you know.
Did I lose signal?
Hello?
I can hear you.
I said I wasn't in the mood to cook today. What do you think about pizza and wings or something?
It's totally up to you. I don't care. You know, I eat anything.
I don't know what's going on.
But you might lose me until my signal. It's funny, I'm putting that bullshit. Close to the post office. Somewhere around here. I know when I see it, got a couple of cars in there. Ain't nothing out here, y'all. Hello?
Bobby, hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can.
Yes, can you hear me? Okay. I didn't hear, you didn't respond.
Well, I'm so far out, you might just lose me.
Okay. Oh, okay. So you want to call me when you get back to the city?
Sure, I can get called back.
Okay, all right.
All right, later. Love you. Bye. Ding. This is taking us to 75 South. Wait a minute. post office?
What's that?
Did I pass the post office?
Yeah, it's all the way.
Oh, can I get it? Can I?
Fairmount or Rydell?
Say again?
You looking for Fairmount or Rydell?
And when I came in, I saw the post office. I'm still looking for it, but I think I passed it.
Yeah, it's all the way.
Can I give you the postal office box?
What do you got?
It's just a return box. I got to go back to the post office instead of you.
Yeah.
You take it. I'll bring it to you. I'll bring it to you. Yeah. Man, I appreciate you. I'm just looking to the map, I must have been bad. All right. Appreciate you. Have a blessed day. Looking for it and done damn past it. Let's giddy up, y'all. Smell like cow manure.
And they're asking for something because you have it. Do you think dollar signs were thinking in Eddie's head? You think dollar signs? Maybe this is why. Maybe Diddy said, "Well, how much you gonna pay me?" Maybe that's why Eddie here wanted some immunity. Remains to be seen. I just want to know about the immunity here. Why did Eddie, why did they give him immunity? I think there's something criminal here that's about to happen. Maybe, maybe not. Garcia said, I said I didn't have access to the server. He told me he believed I could make it happen and he would take care of me. What do you think he meant? Money for the video, Garcia says. What did you do? AUSA says. I reached out to my supervisor about it. So now Eddie's reaching out to supervisor. What should I do here? Supervisor might be like, yo, pay. I don't know. I don't know. So that's where we're at right there. We're waiting to see what else comes out of this. NBC News 19 minutes ago, nothing new. All right, so in the meantime, while we wait, new reports coming out, CNN. Ex-hotel guard testifies Combs sought meeting with hotel over incident video. Eddie Garcia, a former security officer at the Intercontinental Hotel, sent an email that night to the general manager and head of security notifying them about the calls from Combs' assistant. He said Combs requested a meeting with hotel management to discuss the incident and the video. He said in the email that Combs was concerned about the video. There you go. Some more insight about that. Former hotel guard says Combs personally asked him for the video of the 2/16 assault. Eddie Garcia, who worked at security at the Intercontinental Hotel at the time, Sean Diddy Combs was seen assaulting Cassie in the surveillance video, said that later that night, the security desk received another call from the New York area code. Combs' chief of staff, KK, was on the line, and she told Garcia that somebody wanted to speak with them. She then put Combs on the phone. Mr. Combs sounded very nervous, just was really talking fast, was just saying that he had a little too much to drink, and that I knew how things was. I had too much to drink. Help me. I want this tape. I want this tape. Here we go. AUSA, who's your supervisor? He name drops a guy named Bill Medrano. Medrano. He told me he would do it for 50. What do you think that meant? He'd give the video for $50,000.
The beat up video.
$50,000 for the video.
Mm.
What did you do? Garcia says, I called KK back, who put Combs on. Then Diddy starts flattering him by calling him Eddie my angel. Yo! Eddie, my angel! How are you, bud? Thanks for reaching back. And we start to call him Eddie. You're my favorite angel, Eddie. Money talks, right? 50K. We got some 50K. Garcia, Mr. Combs told me, I knew you could do it. Let's do it right away. I told Bill Madrano. AUSA, what'd he do? He went into the server room, then he handed me a black USB and said, done. The video was in the USB. What did you do? I told Mr. Combs. Ah, so they're making it happen. And Bill Madrano's in on it too. The supervisor. They're all in on it. They're all in on it. 50K. But I thought we saw 100K. So I thought they were talking about 100K in a bag. So we're at 50K. We're 50K short here. I told Mr. Combs. So they went to the server room. They put the video on a USB. The video was in the USB. What did you do? I told Mr. Combs. All right, let's get some more. Now I'm a little confused here. Who came up with the agreement for 50K?
Yeah. Where'd that
Was
come
it
from?
on their end? Was it Bill? He told me he would do it for 50. Was it the supervisor that said they would do it for 50 or what? Who came up with the 50K number? So I'm trying to get more information on that aspect. All right, so ex-hotel guard testifies Combs sought meeting with hotel over incident video. We know that. A hotel security worker testified that Sean Combs' chief of staff, KK, came to the Intercontinental Hotel and asked to see surveillance video of that March 5th, 2016 incident shortly after Combs beat Cassie Ventura. The security worker, Eddie Garcia, said Coram, KK, first asked for the video in a phone call, and he told her she would need a subpoena or contact management. When the Combs executive arrived at the hotel lobby, Garcia testified she inquired again if there was a way she could see it so Combs staff would know what they're dealing with. Garcia said he apologized to KK and insisted again that she needed a subpoena, but gave her a brief description of the video footage. It's bad.
What's she doing?
So that's some more information about that incident there. All right, so now they got this tape on this USB. He tells Combs, I got it. Where did Mr. Combs want to meet? Garcia said, West LA. He said, let's get it done. He wanted the video as soon as possible. I told Bill Madrano. He told me to tell the others I was on an errand for him. So Bill's in on this. Supervisor is 100. Supervisor wants a piece of this for sure. Supervisor's
He
like,
got
yo,
the other 50K.
all right, you can go meet him in West LA. I'll tell everyone else that you're just running an errand for me. So they're all covering for each other. Immunity. Crimes committed right now. Destroying evidence, giving evidence to a perpetrator. This seems like this is some bribery here. Bribery going on. AUSA GX8 A104. What hours did you list? 10-180. So they're doing some exhibits here. RICO bribery, signed, sealed, and delivered. That is pinned on the screen here. Bribery. Where was the meeting point? Garcia said, a big high-rise building. Oh, we got a bodyguard in the mix. I called the number and someone came. Said he was Mr. Combs' bodyguard. Got a bodyguard now. RICO, criminal enterprise. You got KK initiating the call to get this tape back. You got KK coming to the lobby trying to get this tape back. You got Diddy involved here. You got a payoff for a video. You got to meet at a location. Now we got a bodyguard coming into the mix. A bodyguard comes. How did he look? He goes older, African American, heavy set, 6'3" to 6'5". That's a big guy.
Gene Dale.
A 6'3" to 6'5" bodyguard, African American, older person. Could it be? Who could it be?
Gene Dale.
All the bodyguards in Diddy's inner circle. Who's
Gene
the bodyguard?
Dale.
Who's an older African American that's 6'3", 6'5"? Does anyone know?
Gene Dale.
It's pretty. Rico Suave. We use the word Rico Suave. Tell us a name. Could it be the same person that was administering the lie detector test? The big person that was doing the lie detector test on Capricorn Clark? Same guy? Some people are saying Gene Deal. Gene Deal. People are saying Gene Deal. D-Rock, Paulie, Bonds. Who do we got? Gene Deal. Some people are saying in the chat could be Gene Deal. We'll wait and see. Gene Deal is a person that has put himself out there. He's been at the courthouse. He's been sharing. It seems like he is 100% against Diddy and is speaking up and supports Cassie. That's the way I seen it. If I'm wrong here, please correct me. All right. What did he say? He said he kind of came up with Mr. Combs, that he was a good guy and I was doing a good thing. So the bodyguard is like flattering Garcia, saying, look, I came up with Diddy. He's a good guy. You're doing the good thing. You're doing a good thing. They're all like flattering. Upstairs. They go upstairs. Go upstairs. Mr. Combs is there, smiling. Hey, Eddie, my angel. My voice was crackling, so I was coming down with something. Eddie, my angel. Here we go. Eddie, my angel. Sweet talking. Sweet talking. Eddie, bud. You're my new pal. How you doing, Eddie?
My boy. My boy.
Eddie's taking some risk, man. Eddie's like just going to meet these people. Who knows if they would just like, would have been crazy if they would have just like snatched the USB and plucked them in the head. Said, you ain't getting no money. Give me that USB.
Eddie, man, down.
Combs said video of Cassie beating would ruin his career. So it's all about Combs saying that this video he needs because the video is going to ruin his career if he doesn't get it. Garcia testified that a call from Combs' team to his personal cell phone number had him nervous, and that Combs repeatedly told him he could get help regarding the footage of him assaulting Ventura. So that's, we've kind of read that already. So I want to kind of stay where we are. What's happening here in this moment? I don't want to get off track here, because now we're in this moment where Garcia is about to hand Diddy and his people, bodyguards there. Doesn't appear anyone else is there. Diddy and a 6'3", 6'5" African American bodyguard that is older. He said, he didn't name drop. He said they're upstairs, and Diddy is calling him Eddie. Oh, KK's there too. KK. Mr. Combs told KK to go get me some tea that he liked. Then he asked, do I have it? I said yes, and I handed it to him. What'd he do? He left, came back, he asked if it was the only copy. And you said, I believe so. Here we go. Mr. Combs said it had to be the only copy, nothing in the cloud. I called Mr. Madrano, and he said it was the only copy. He took it off the server. What else did you say? That if Cassie filed a complaint, I could get in trouble. Oh, I see what he's doing here. Garcia's telling Diddy that this is the conspiracy. This is a conspiracy right here. You know what's happening right now before our eyes. Garcia tells Diddy, if Cassie files a complaint, I could get in trouble. You know what that means? Diddy's going to influence Cassie not to report this, not to say anything, shut her up. Because everything could spiral out of control. Because if Cassie files a complaint, police might be coming asking for that
video
tape. And if the tape's not there, it's going to look bad. So, you know, Garcia himself is like complicit with this. This is why we're talking about self-incrimination and immunity.
Yeah.
He's pretty much saying, yo, we're destroying evidence here. We're getting rid of evidence. Because if Cassie files a complaint with the police are going to come and they're going to ask for that tape. What's going to happen when the police come, ask for that tape, and the tape is so-called missing? Everyone gets in trouble. So he's in on it. He's in on this cover-up. He's in on the cover-up. Immunity. Mr. Combs said, don't worry. Cassie wanted it gone too. He called her on FaceTime and showed me. She was in a hoodie, but I recognized her. What did Miss Ventura say? That she had a movie coming out and wanted this not to come out. So Cassie's on the phone telling him, I want it gone too. They both don't want it gone. But she's saying it under guise, oh, well, I have a movie coming out. I don't want it. Out. It could ruin my movie. It could ruin things. I don't want it out. Now, we know that it's possible Diddy told her to say that. And told her, get on the phone and just say why you don't want it out. Making her, of course, not filing a police report. She's scared. Coercive control. But they're all in on it. They're all in on a cover-up here. They're all in on it. This is illegal. It's illegal. Bribery. But see, Cassie, you know, we don't know what Diddy told Cassie beforehand, but the way Cassie's already testified is Diddy controls every aspect of her life. So I'm sure Diddy forced her not to file a complaint, threatened her not to file a complaint, blackmailed her probably not to file a complaint, threatened to release sex tapes if she went to the police, probably told him or told her to tell him that reasons why she doesn't want the tape out either. Crazy. So what did Miss Ventura say? That she had a movie coming out and wanted this not to come out. Goes on to say, Now, I don't know what was said at this point, but they say, Garcia, he wanted my ID and that of Mr. Medrano and the responding officer, Mr. Flores. But he is a very straight guy and probably wouldn't do it. I told Bill Medrano. What did Bill say? He'd get Henry Elias, the other responding officer. So now they're talking about other officers, and they're getting everyone on board with this, I believe. I think what he's trying to say is, at that point, they're letting the other security and certain other individuals know it's cool, everything's good, we got this taken care of. So he's name dropping. He's name dropping different names here. Henry Elias, a responding officer. I didn't hear Flores, though. Flores is one of the people that testified, right? Did not see that name mentioned here. I think these are other people. I definitely see Cassie coerced here and forced to get on the phone or FaceTime and say whatever Diddy tells her to say to this guy. Well, I have a career. This can't ruin my career. A movie, I got a movie, it will ruin it. How would it ruin Cassie's career, per se? She's the victim. I mean, he literally destroyed, tape speaks for itself. All right, CNN kind of elaborates on what has just been said. Ex-hotel guard says Combs tried to put me at ease during private meeting over video incident. Eddie Garcia, a former security officer at the Intercontinental Hotel, called KK Sean Combs, former chief of staff, when he arrived in the lobby of the high-rise building where Combs had told him to meet. A man who identified himself as Combs' security guard brought Garcia up to a room on a higher floor. Combs was happy when he got there, Garcia said. He was smiling, excited, just looking happy. He referred to him as Eddie, my angel. Combs welcomed Garcia and said, I believe you know he was making me feel comfortable. Garcia said, at the time, I was very nervous and my voice kept cracking. Garcia said Combs offered him some tea when he said he was coming down with something. Combs asked him if he liked tea, and when Garcia said he didn't know, Combs directed KK to go get him some tea. So KK's giving him some tea to calm his nerves, or he's coming down with the flu. So KK's there, bodyguard is there, Diddy's there, Garcia's there, Garcia's corresponding with his supervisor, and Cassie is on some FaceTime somewhere. And they're all talking about this tape. And they're all talking about getting their ducks in line. And the story, what to do. And now it has expanded to other names, I'm assuming, responding officers, responding people to this incident. Now we'll wait and see what gets said out of that. Bribery. RICO bribery. Right now. I mean, this hotel security guard and his supervisor would absolutely be fired. And possibly criminally charged if you removed evidence. Because all it takes is the victim to make a complaint. And if the tape has been sold or given to the perpetrator for money, that's a crime.
Yep.
That's a crime.
Go to
No ifs,
jail.
ands, or buts. You can't do that.
Committed a crime
It's a crime.
within a crime.
You can give evidence, potentially criminal conduct, to someone else, the perpetrator, buy them off. Buy off. All right, so we're still waiting on hold. Come on in. I see a lot of people in the chat. Continuous coverage. We are the go-to channel when it comes to Sean P. Diddy Combs in real time. We're listening to Eddie Garcia on the stand with immunity. He's dropping truth bombs here. He's testifying under oath. He got immunity, so there's no point of him lying. He can say whatever he wants and not get prosecuted for it. And he is sharing this whole incident about the Intercontinental March 2016 hotel incident. Diddy beating Cassie. We all seen the video numerous times. You all know about it. I mean, when you think about this case, you think about the Cassie video. That's one of the big pieces of evidence that sticks out more than anything on this case is the video of Cassie getting beat by Diddy. And now he's describing about secret meetings, going in there and putting the video on a USB, and then going meeting Diddy, and money exchanged, and hiding and concealment, and Diddy, working this guy Garcia, flattering him, while Garcia is like a nervous wreck. And also Diddy and KK, they call him on his personal phone. However they got his personal phone, who knows? Who knows? Now, somebody said, I saw it said, it's a good thing he recorded it on his phone. And that's something we might be getting into, some sort of recordings or something. There's some recordings that have been discussed before the jury got on the bench this morning on cell phone recording. So that's where we might start getting into these, like what's on other videos, something we never seen or heard about. So that's why I'm kind of like, whoa, what's happening here? Because I think Garcia is going to be able to corroborate this by having some sort of video. When Mr. Combs saw the IDs, he looked at Henry's, and said, yeah, that's him. He brought out the NDAs that I wouldn't speak about. Okay, here comes the NDAs. NDAs. Diddy's bringing out NDAs. I want the video, but all of you are going to have to sign some NDAs. AUSA brings out exhibit GXC 106. Do you recognize this? Garcia says it states I provided the only copy of the video. NDA. So Garcia had to fill out something, some sort of documentation that says I have provided the only copy. I provided the only copy of this video. Woo! So we're there. So what do we got here? What do we got? We got a comment here that popped up on the screen in green. Go back to it. Green comment. Green comment. Is that Taniki Brown? Thanks for the comment. How do we, when sent KK for the tea, he didn't call KK to make it look like it was Cassie? Where's Stevie J? How do we know when he sent KK for the tea, he didn't call KK to make it look like it was Cassie? Great point. Cassie might have not have been the actual person. Great point. Great point. We don't know if it was truly Cassie or not. Thank you for the comment. That is a great point. That is a great point. Great point. How do we know for sure if it was Cassie? They could have pretended it was Cassie to validate. Oh, yeah, this is Cassie. Yeah, I have a movie coming up. We can't have this out. Okay. Can we say Rico now? Prosecution's cooking things up. They're cooking. They're cooking. Can we say Rico? Rico Suave. But if it was Cassie, and I probably think it is, I want to say it probably was Cassie. She definitely could have been, they could have been pulling her arms to say whatever. You say this, you
Could've been a
stick to the
look-alike.
story. They gave her the story to tell Mr. Eddie. To make Eddie feel like, okay, well, Diddy doesn't want it out, she doesn't want it out, his team doesn't want it out, I understand, plus they're paying me, I'm with it. Money talks. It just shows you that people will actually go and do things onto this extreme with money. What would you do if you were in Eddie's shoes? Would you go and meet him and pay it off? Jeopardize your job, security of your job, protocol of your job, and go in there and get the tape, conspire with others? A lot of times with Fed cases, what takes people out, conspiracy. No one ends up keeping a secret. And once you get a lot of co-defendants and a lot of people, bad things can happen. AUSA, did you read it? I guess this is the NDA. No, I was nervous. Were you given a copy? No. And the NDA. What were the liquidated damages? $1 million. How much were you making? $10.50 an hour.
What?
That's all he was making. $10.50 an hour. That's how much Eddie Garcia. And the NDA, what were the liquidated damages in the NDA? $1 million. So Eddie's not making a much. He knows if he liquidated damages, I'm assuming here that's if you violate the NDA, you're subject to a $1 million penalty. But he's only making $10.50 an hour.
So sue
You
me.
gotta pay him more, man. Hotel securities in LA in 2016 are only making $10.50 an hour
Dang.
in LA. Are you kidding me? Yikes. Yikes. Rico, we got the polls still up. Make sure you vote. Will Diddy take the stand in his own defense? 40% say no. Poll is still going. We'll keep it going. But in the meantime, NDAs, salaries, money. Crime has no size. He was willing to bribe to protect his criminal acts. Bribe people. This is a straight up bribe. Bribe. All right, let me scoot around here, see what we got. It's being said, Eddie's going to be on the bench for 90 minutes, they say. 90 minutes. All right, AUSA. Then what? Mr. Combs, look at this. This is how crazy it is. Mr. Combs put cash through the money counter. There were stacks of 10,000 at a time. The machine displayed at the end 100,000. AUSA, why the additional $50,000? For me, and what he thought was Israel Flores. Dun, 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 Israel Flores.
Implicated.
So Diddy actually sweetened the pot. And he had one of those cash machines. You know, one of those cash, money counter, cash. Boom! 100,000. This is for you, and this is for Israel Flores.
Yeah.
50,000 more. So Diddy sweetened the offer. He's trying to. This is like a mafia stuff. Junior Mafia. Like Junior Mafia. Literally has one of those cash counters. Put a bunch of cash. That's what mob people have, right? That's what drug dealers have.
Yep.
Who has one of those things? He's no bank. Counting machines. Yeah, counting machines. No reasonable person has counting machines. Money counting machine. Yeah. I mean, they're not much money. I mean, you could get them for like $500, but he had literally a money counting machine. I take it they're reliable, but he literally had all this cash on him. 100K right there. Plus, don't forget, anyone receives a large amount of money like that has to report it if it's over a certain amount legally. So here's another crime. Here's another crime. You can't just start accepting $100,000 from somebody. I mean, you just don't do it in that sense with a bunch of cash. Yeah, it's like reminding me like a Breaking Bad, some sort of. I think like a combination of Junior Mafia, Belly, the movie Belly. Sort of call it counting the cash, right? Give me the loot. Give me the loot. Cash.
This guy's crazy.
Give me the loot.
Give me the loot.
Diddy dollars.
Diddy.
Economics. Diddy economics. Bribing people off, paying people off. 100,000. That was one incident there. And he just flat out in a day was able to have 100,000K right there. Who has $100,000 at their disposal like that? Bribery. This is a man that felt like if any trouble came his way, he could buy himself out of the situation. Rico. How did Mr. Combs give you the $100,000? In a brown paper bag, he says. Was the bodyguard there? Yes. And Miss KK, was she present?
Yes.
He says, I would say at some point, yet I stood up, signifying that I'd be leaving. So KK is like, so what he's saying is KK was there, but KK was like, in that moment, KK is like, I'll be leaving now. Like her job was, you know, she's part of it, but she's just like, in this moment, I'll be stepping away right now. KK in on this, man. She knows her role in this Rico. KK's in some trouble. KK, if you're out there, I don't know what's going on. Are you testifying against Diddy down the line? Because we're talking now about you there at a bribery buy-off of $100,000 in a paper bag. Mafia style. Mafia. It's like mafia, man. He got $100,000 in a paper bag. And some of it was supposed to go to Mr. Flores, too. Yo, this is some heavy stuff here. All right. Let's continue. Let's see what we got. Continuous coverage. Mr. Combs escorted me to my car. He asked how I would be spending it. He said not to make any big purchases. Judge says, Mr. Steele, if you're objecting, speak into the microphone. That's sustained. Disregard the last part. So something about don't make any big purchases. Did he try to give him some financial advice? He thinks he's Warren Buffett. He's giving him the 100K, bribing him off, and at the same time lecturing him about financial advice. Well, make sure you don't make big purchases. That is crazy, folks. Come on in. Wow. Crazy. All right, so let me refresh the update here. Eddie, my angel. Eddie gets a bunch of money. Combs escorting him out the building.
Eddie, are you okay?
Crazy. All right, so let me see what else is going on. What's being said? Nothing on the Washington Post. Let's see the CNN feed. CNN has what's this? Our live coverage has ended for the day.
That's it? It's only 10.
Oh, CNN stopped for the day. That's weird.
Oh,
Our
they
live
stopped.
coverage has ended for the day.
Bad news
Nope,
for
that's
Diddy.
the wrong one. Sorry.
No?
That was weird. Each site is strange with CNN because then the next site you got to go to a new page. Live inside the courtroom here. I'll be leaving. Ex-hotel guard, I signed Combs' NDA without reading. Agreement threatened $1 million penalty for breach. Goes on to say, Eddie Garcia, a former security officer at the Intercontinental Hotel, testified he did not read the documents carefully before signing, and he did not receive any copies. I was nervous. I was in a rush to get out of there. One part of the agreement read aloud in court stated, recipient understands that Combs is a highly prominent recording artist, entertainer, and entrepreneur, and his privacy and the confidentiality of the confidential information is of material concern. Another line from the agreement said, according without limitation of the company's and or Combs's rights as they relate to injunctive relief detailed above, recipient agrees to pay company the sum of $1 million as liquidated damages in the event of a breach of this agreement. Garcia testified he was earning $10.50 at the time. So, breach of contract, if Garcia was to reveal anything that happened with that, he would be subjected to a $1 million penalty where he himself was only making $10.50 an hour. Which is crazy. That is crazy. That is crazy. Eddie, my angel.
Eddie, are you okay? You've been hit by a smooth criminal.
All right. So, NBC News, let's see what's going on. Garcia, Mr. Combs escorted me to my car. Said, don't make big purchases. What did you do? Garcia called Bill and gave him $50,000, so Bill gets that $50K. How much to Mr. Elias Garcia, $20K. What did you do with the $30K? So he gets $30K out of this mix. Elias gets 20, Bill gets 50, and he only walks away with $30K. And he said he bought a used car with it. Diddy's like, don't make big purchases. What does he do? He makes a big purchase. He makes a big purchase. And he gets himself a used car. I don't know what type of car. What type? Well, you can get nice cars for $30K. I'm shocked that he was only making $10.50 as a security guard. That's weird to me. I thought minimum wage is higher than that in Los Angeles. Crazy. All right, so that's where we're at here. Gets a used car with cash. Eddie!
Eddie, are you okay?
My buddy. Did you hear from Mr. Combs again? Yes. He called me and told me Happy Easter if I ever needed anything. AUSA. And did you reach out to him later? A few years later via Instagram, asking if there was work in LA. I never heard back. Sidebar. Diddy at that point just dissed him. He was looking for a job. Afterward, he contacted. Yeah, asked him if there was work in LA. Sidebar. All right, so we got a sidebar. Yeah, that's crazy. So Eddie walks away with $30K. Doesn't seem like a lot here. $30K. Eddie walks away with $30K. All right, so we have a sidebar. I don't know what's happening with the sidebar. I don't know what's being talked about. I think they'll probably be breaking here shortly. We shall see. Sidebar. All right, seeing some of the other reports here of what's going on. Stay with me. All right, let's see. What do we got? Hello, welcome aboard, folks. Eddie Garcia is on the stand. Diddy was like, Happy Easter. Happy Easter, everyone. This is very, very damaging for Diddy. Rico, absolutely. I can't see no way around that. If anyone thinks this is not Rico, I mean, this is some pretty crazy stuff here that's going on. Bribery. Never heard back. Sidebar. A few years later, via Instagram, he asked Diddy, oh, well, I'm looking for some work. Diddy ghosted him. He ghosted him. 3 minutes ago, Washington Post. We have a sidebar. Goes on to say, Sean Combs repeatedly tried to obtain hotel security footage of him beating his then girlfriend, Cassie. Security officer Eddie Garcia testified and finally handed over tens of thousands in cash for the damaging video. Garcia said Combs first called him on the hotel security line after the beating and nervously told him he had a little too much to drink. He said Combs, intimidated, that Combs then said, I knew how things were with women and that one thing leads to another. So he's minimizing the situation. That's the word I was looking for, minimizing, by saying, well, I knew how things were with women. That one thing leads to another. The next time, Garcia says, Combs called his personal cell phone, he stated that I sounded like a good guy, that I sounded like I wanted to help, and something like this could ruin him. Garcia said that Combs said that I could help him. Garcia said he initially told Combs that he did not have access to the video, but he later reached back and said his boss was willing to erase the footage for $50,000. At that point, Eddie, my angel, you heard it, going to this place for the meetup exchange. I think Eddie at this point is going to be crossed. We're waiting to see. Eddie's probably going to be crossed here, so I think we have a sidebar, and then we'll probably have this crossing. Sidebar. Got the sidebar. Tweets are also breaking up on online too. I don't know what's happening here. The tweets seem like them. It looks like Twitter might be having some technical difficulties, or some strange stuff that's coming out of Twitter right now in reference to tweets breaking up. Garcia, who was making $10.50 an hour, signed an NDA for a $1 million penalty. I mean, how do you even force an NDA? You sign an NDA with somebody, You really think if Garcia was to share information about this, well, isn't he violating an NDA right now by testifying? I mean, doesn't this NDA? I mean, he's violating the NDA right now. He's not too bright. Steele is going to rip him apart, and I don't think the feds are going to be able to patch this up. Thank you for the comment. All right, so we'll see. We're about to get into cross here. Steele is doing the cross, by the way. We'll see. We'll see if he gets ripped apart. They're back. We are back. Anything further, Miss Steiner? AUSA Steiner, yes. Mr. Flores, did you see this video again? I guess she's saying, why? I don't know why I'd say Mr. Flores. Yes, on a news outlet. Also, Mr. Flores messaged me a screenshot. Did you keep these messages? No. I wanted nothing to do with it. Did Flores end up getting paid at all? Flores. Come on in, come on in. He's still on the stand. He's about to be crossed. What will the cross consist of? 1 minute ago, Combs warned hotel guard not to make big purchases. Oh. Duh. He warned him not to make big purchases because he didn't want to trigger the IRS. I didn't even consider that. Meaning, Combs is telling him, well, look, I'm giving you $100,000 in a paper bag. Don't make big purchases, because if you make big purchases, I thought he was actually trying to give the dude some financial advice or something, like, hey, by the way, spend your money wisely, like some sort of like financial. But people in the chat and the way I'm reading it here is like, yo, it's implying that, yo, IRS, you're gonna trigger IRS. If you make $1,000, you spend more than 10K, the forms start coming. You got to start reporting this stuff. Don't make big purchases. Little purchases. I ain't even going to get into the purchases. You know, a lot of people, criminals, in doing things, will avoid the $10,000. They'll go $9,998.99, $9,900. They stay right below the 10K. Stay right below the 10K. They don't want to trigger the feds or the IRS. Were you contacted by law enforcement? Garcia says yes. Did you tell the truth? No. I wanted nothing to do with it. Did you get your own lawyer and then tell the truth? Yes. No further questions. Mr. Steele. All right, cross. So he admitted that at one point law enforcement contacted him. He's saying he didn't tell them the truth or nothing. I wanted nothing to do with it, didn't cooperate with law enforcement, then got a lawyer, and now is telling the truth. That's where they ended. So eventually, at one point, law enforcement Steele got a hold of him. Steele is now on the stand, crossing him. Steele is now up. Brian Steele crossing. Let the crossing begin. Combs is Steele. Sir, you were in a condominium unit with Mr. Combs and others and received double what your boss was requesting. Fair? Garcia, yes. You told your boss because you are honest, right? Yes, he says. You asked Mr. Combs for work. Yes. That's where we're at. All right, so Steele's like, you asked Mr. Combs for work. You're being honest. You're being honest. You're in the same condominium unit with Combs and others and received double the payment. Fair? Yes. Gary Lynn, thank you for the gifted membership. One lucky member is a member of JLR Investigates, the growingest army on the internet. Where is Steele going with this? What do you think Steele's trying to do here? How is he going to try to discredit him? You got more than you asked for? Does that make the situation, does that make Garcia look bad in any way? You got more than you asked for? The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. What are you saying here? We're stuck on there waiting for more information on that aspect. In the meantime, I am refreshing the screen to see what else is popping up in some of these reports. 8 minutes ago, Washington Post, we've already discussed that. Let's keep it moving. Keep it moving. CNN. Live updates. Ex-hotel guard after 2024 video resurfaced. I spoke with colleagues, then deleted messages. Eddie Garcia, a former security officer at the Intercontinental Hotel, testified that after the video resurfaced in the media in 2024, he spoke to his colleagues, including Israel Flores and Henry Elias. Garcia was then contacted by law enforcement in June of 2024 about the incident. But Garcia testified he wasn't honest about his involvement in the situation at the time with law enforcement. Garcia deleted his messages with Flores and Elias about the situation after meeting with the investigators. Garcia said he was later appointed his own counsel and met with the government later that year. Oh, so the government flipped him, by the way. The government flipped him. He's admitting that he deleted messages between other parties and everything like that after LE contacted him. I mean, he's basically trying to hide his communication. Garcia said he was later appointed his own counsel. What do you mean he was later appointed? He got his own counsel, or someone appointed him counsel? Maybe subpoenas? And met with the government later that year.
Damn.
When he disclosed that Combs had paid him for the video. He said that he was truthful in that meeting and all his subsequent meetings with the prosecutors. What that means to me is the prosecution came to him and said, yo, we know you received large amounts of money.
He had to admit
You could be prosecuted, and made a deal with him. That's clearly what happened here. They came at him after June of 2024. Coming to him, we got evidence. We know we got evidence that you deleted things or got money. We got evidence. We need your help. And if you testify, we won't prosecute. So now Combs and Steele is saying to Mr. Garcia on the stand, let me show you the NDA. This part says exclusions, right? Garcia, under the NDA, you can't speak, is my understanding. Steele goes on to say, it says, nothing prohibits truthful statement in a legal proceeding. Garcia says, I see that. And Steele says, you weren't law enforcement. And he goes, no. In the NDA, it says nothing prohibits truthful statements in a legal proceeding. So we're going over the NDA right here. This NDA. Steele's trying to get him on the NDA. Interesting. Very, very interesting. This is a cross, by the way, so. And I want to know more about KK. What's going on with KK in this? If law enforcement is reaching out to these hotel people about this video, you don't think law enforcement reached out to KK about any of this? KK's involved with the mix. She's involved with initiating the demand for the tape. That's what I'm saying. Like, for KK, she either has to be brought into this trial at one point to testify, or I don't know what's going on. KK is in on this. This is a conspiracy revolving security guards, hotel management people, supervisors, KK, bodyguard, Diddy, Garcia, a group of people selling off evidence of a crime, removing evidence of a crime. And KK's not going to be brought to the stand. I think KK could be an unindicted co-defendant, personally. Yeah. Garcia said he was later appointed his own counsel and met with the government later that year when he disclosed that Combs had paid for the video. There you go. I smell a RICO charge. I smell a RICO charge. Twitter's going through some technical difficulties, by the way, so some of this information might be a little bit more difficult to get out because the tweets are breaking up and a lot of people are complaining. We're doing our best. Getting updates from all the media feeds. 2 minutes ago, prosecutors asked Eddie Garcia why he was nervous around Sean Combs while the two men allegedly struck a deal to sell Combs' security footage of him beating Cassie Ventura. The hotel guard began to explain his fear of the hip-hop mogul before a sharp objection from defense attorneys halted the line of questioning. Prosecutors are trying to provide the jury with evidence that supports racketeering charges, which involves making threats to extort individuals and companies. That's what Washington Post just reported. Racketeering charges, which involves making threats to extort individuals and companies. The imagery is in this testimony is strong. Paper bags filled with cash, bodyguards, money counters, bands of cash, veiled threats. Oh, you're just such a nice guy, Eddie, my angel. Calling on the personal phone. Racketeering. They're laying the foundation for a RICO case right here. Bodyguards in a building, money counting machine. Even at the end, telling them, well, be careful about your large purchases, not to trigger any federal agency looking into you. Be careful. Telling them, be careful about how you spend this money. He wasn't like Dave Ramsey or Warren Buffett. That's what I speculated at the beginning. I was like, yeah, he's trying to play financial advisor here. He's also testified at the end he wasn't initially truthful with police over the 216 incident. Now, before I get into that, it looks like Steele has already done his line of questioning. And I will read here. I will read. Looks like he's done. Redirect. AUSA, so you'd have to notify them first. Garcia, yes. Steele, objection. So going back a minute, Combs to Steele, I have nothing further. Redirect. AUSA Steiner, NDA, paragraph 4. Can you read it? After, however, Garcia says, notify company to allow company to prevent disclosure. AUSA, so you'd have to notify them first. Yes. Objection. Overruled. So that's where we're at here. NDAs. Lead defense attorney Brian Steele is now cross-examining witness Eddie Garcia, a hotel security worker who testified that Combs paid him and his colleagues to obtain a copy of the footage showing the music producer physically assaulting Cassie. Steele rose to fame as a result of the high-profile and very drawn-out Young Thug racketeering trial in Georgia. They wanted to put that in. And was a relatively late addition to Combs' defense team. He's the attorney we've heard from most of the week, even though we're in the prosecution's phase of the trial. So that's who's on again. They're just putting out Steele. All right, so we have an objection overruled. Here's where we're at.
The fuck? Damn.
Objection overruled. All right. What do we got? What do we got? I gotta refresh some of these screens here. Oh, by the way, Garcia said he wasn't initially truthful with the police over the 216 assault. When police began asking about the March 2016 assault at the Intercontinental Hotel, Garcia said he wasn't initially honest with investigators. Garcia testified that he was contacted by law enforcement and wasn't truthful about his involvement at first. He later got his own attorney and met with the government, where he said he was more forthcoming. Now that could hurt him. That could hurt him in a sense on cross. We'll see. Why weren't you truthful with investigators? So how do we know you're not truthful now? All right, we're going to continue to see what's going on here. Something's acting funny on Twitter, by the way. I just want to let everyone know. I don't know if you guys know we're the same thing, but there is big problems. A lot of people are complaining about Twitter. Tweets aren't coming up. Come on in, come on in. We're waiting to see the updates. So in the meantime, let us know what you think so far about this witness while we get more information. Lagging a little bit. Defense points out NDA didn't prevent Garcia from speaking with law enforcement. Defense attorney Brian Steele briefly cross-examined Garcia, pointing out a line in the NDA that said Garcia was not prevented from speaking about the 216 assault in legal proceedings. This was presumably intended to undermine the government's potential obstruction of justice, one of the predicate crimes that falls under racketeering. Obstruction. Prosecutors quickly took up a redirect, however, showing that the NDA requires written notice to the company in those cases. It says this would allow the company to seek options to present disclosure. Mr. Garcia testified on redirect that he understood the company to be Mr. Combs's company. All right, so different things. There's about the NDAs. That's what's being discussed on cross. We shall see. All right, so yeah, there are we have I just want to inform people, as you notice, I don't know if you're noticing, but I just want to keep everyone informed. There are major technical difficulties going on Twitter right now, so some of this information is not coming out now that was coming out. So we're gonna have to find out different things, maybe a little bit longer than we were used to, because many people are complaining on Twitter. And I thought I could just refresh screens, but things are still not coming up for me, and a lot of people. All right, 7 minutes ago, that's no new update there. All right, so that's the update on NBC. Let's see the CNN update. What's going on with the CNN? Garcia confirmed he felt good about Combs' transaction, even though he checked rear view mirror after meeting. That's a more insight. Defense attorney Brian Steele asked Eddie Garcia if he got a good feeling about Sean Diddy Combs, who acted professionally in the transaction, even though Garcia testified that he was looking out his rear view mirror to see if Combs was following him after the meeting. Garcia agreed. Steele then reviewed sections of the non-disclosure agreement that Garcia said he didn't read when he signed it. It goes on to say, Steele honed in on the section of the non-disclosure agreement that included provisions for when Garcia could discuss the confidential information without breaching the agreement. A provision allowed for Mr. Garcia to disclose the information to law enforcement or other government bodies if necessary without breaching the agreement, but required Garcia to notify Combs' company. The non-disclosure agreement also included a non-disparagement clause. Read the fine print. Always read the fine print. Steele completed the cross-examination, and Prosecutor Steiner is questioning Garcia on redirect examination. All right, we're on a break. Nothing further, break. Nothing further, break. All right, so we are on break. We're on break. Hopefully they fix the situation. In the meantime, I'm reading the comments of the viewers. Oh, we have another comment. Green comment. Taniki Brown. Can this case now, that's company reshape how they do their NDAs, so that includes not even talking to the feds? So I see what you're saying. Can this case now, that's company reshape how they do their NDA, so it includes not even talking to the feds. NDAs can be drafted in any sort of way out there, that I believe. Again, just read the fine print. Before you sign an NDA, read the fine print of any contract that you sign. But I think all that NDA talk is pointless in this. The point is, he got $100,000 in a brown paper bag. The way it all went down, I don't know where they're going with this NDAs or what can be released and what can and how you cooperate and whatnot. Point is, NDAs, I think that's kind of irrelevant in a sense in this, but maybe you guys feel otherwise. But the point is, Diddy contacted him, asked him for the tape. He went there with a USB and gave him gave him what he wanted, and got $100,000 that he distributed out to others. That's where I see it. Now with this NDA and what can be done and not be done and said after the fact, and if you cooperate, does that exempt you from cooperating with law enforcement, all that? I think that's just nonsense. It's a crime. You committed a crime. That's what's being talked about. Crime, it's a crime. All right, so we are on break. First break of the day. Actually, that's the second, isn't it? Garcia up on here. Let me see what also is being said on the different feeds. Washington Post. See what they say. 3 minutes ago, Sean Combs leaned over the defense table. Sean Combs, it says, leaned over the defense table and looked intently at a monitor on his lead counsel's desk while the prosecution and defense team were in a sidebar discussion with the judge. The monitor contains a live transcript of the proceedings, including sidebars, which are drowned out by white noise so the rest of the court can't hear. All right, so that he's listening. He wants to know what's being said on sidebar. So obviously, something is going on with Diddy right now during these sidebars where he's listening in, trying to get the 411.
And we'll be
Magnolia.
back. Diddly 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 dee dee be diddly 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 dee. Boy, your ass in trouble. You committed a crime within a crime. Your ass is going to stay in jail. You got no business doing that. So the hotel clerk got immunity. He telling on Diddy. violating his disclosure agreement. I guess he's not gonna get in trouble for violating the NDA because he turned state's evidence, which means that Diddy, if he does sue him, the money comes from the government because he can't be tried. It's an NDA, and he violated the NDA in agreement with the feds. So if anything, the feds will have to owe Diddy $1 million, which they'll probably deduct from how much he owed in restitution to Cassie. That's how that works. Poor fella. See that thing get you in trouble, boy. Yeah, they get you in trouble. Alright, we are done for today. I am headed to the crib. I need to take care of some more business. And we're going to continue. The trial should be continuing.
Getting that video for him. Eddie My Angel. All in the context.
Eddie, are you okay?
Of KK's person. There was also a photo of the IDs on the device. So what the prosecution is doing right now is corroborating what Eddie said on the stand about the IDs. Everyone had to provide their ID. And he in the contact in KK's phones, Eddie My Angel, and Eddie My Angel friend Intercontinental in the contacts of KK's phone in her possession at the Miami airport. They're corroborating what he testified by now showing proof that his name and others were in those phones. Damaging.
Eddie, are you okay?
Damaging. Ooh. Damaging. That's damaging evidence, folks.
Sir.
For sure. Call.
For sure. Did a bit
KK call. Hand in the cookie jar. She had the evidence in her phone that she had correspondence with the guy who just testified under oath, under immunity, that he received $100,000 in a brown paper bag. And that money to be shared amongst others for the tape. KK has all that contact in her phone that she gets caught with at Miami airport. So what's even more crazy is years later, she don't even delete the stuff in the phone. She leaves the contacts and the evidence in her own phone. How dumb on their part. Yikes. This is years later. 2 phones get seized. And she's still having Eddie's numbers and names in her phone. Along with 24 contacts. I don't know who the other 24 contacts are. AUSA. We are entering into evidence records from Signature Bank. Signature Bank. I wonder what that is. Any objection? Defense, no. With that, the government calls Derek Ferguson. Derek Ferguson, the man you see right there. He is on the stand. How do you know Mr. Combs? Ferguson says. He goes on to say, I worked for him from 1998, whoa, to 2017. Dude, he almost worked 2 decades with Combs. Also, folks, it shows that he probably knows a lot. The inner workings of the entire bad boy enterprise. It's about to crumble before our eyes. Pay attention, seriously. Watch what he says. RICO is being established right now. RICO. RICO is being established right now. Right before our eyes.
Right before our eyes.
What's he going to say?
He did it, he did it, he did it. Diddly.
Oh, get ready. Popcorn ready. Ferguson, Derek Ferguson, worked there for almost 2 decades. Not like it's a short stint. Not like Kaplan. Kaplan worked for a couple years. Not like David James. He worked for a couple years. This man knows it all. It's one of Diddy's most trusted advisors. Notice he left around the same time Cassie left. A lot of these people within Diddy's, if you notice something there with a lot of people, it's from like a lot of these people that all gone by 218. Same time Cassie's gone. He's gone by 217.
They knew it was coming.
1998 to 217, man. That's 2 decades working for the same person. You know everything. You know everything. You know how the whole operation works. Trusted advisor, he's known as. Chief Operating Officer. Testifying. I wonder if he got an immunity. I wonder if it doesn't appear he got any immunity. They didn't mention that. I wonder if he made a deal with the prosecution. He is on the stand. Christina is an undercover federal agent planted to take Diddy down. Desiree Perez is a federal agent planted to take Jay-Z down next. C. Hayes says. Jay-Z, man, Rock Nation sued and all. I'm just going to jump to Jay-Z a minute because the latest is this new lawsuit, but it kind of like the grounds of how Diddy went going down. So it is possible that they could go after Jay-Z next. Very possible. The same trajectory that happened to Diddy is kind of going on with Jay-Z right now with civil stuff. So we'll see what happens out of that. Probably a whole other lie. Wow. All right. What do we got? Signature Bank. And we are waiting.
And we are waiting.
Now, this one, I don't think he was going to say that he's forced to work or forced to do things. He could. But this guy's been working for 20 years.
Why are you stopping?
And it just seems like there's a pattern with Diddy where he treats men much differently than females during this whole ordeal.
Yes, ma'am.
So what do I do if it because it just went out again? If it keeps tripping, what if that's the problem?
Then that's the electrician as to why your current is, the unit is going into protect mode, so that fuse box needs to be addressed. You're not broken. Your power from downstairs is tripping. It's probably bad fuses. But what you need to do is have the electrician check that box.
Okay.
And then if he gives it an all go, give me a call back.
Yeah, I'll probably have somebody out here, an electrician out here tomorrow for that.
Because if it was heating up, there's no parts for me to replace.
Gotcha. Okay, I'll give you a call back tomorrow if needed.
Yes, ma'am. And also, see if the temperature is not on max. You don't need all the heat. You need heat. So if you can turn the heat level down, see what happens. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye.
Different. One, it seems like men that have worked for Diddy over the years get paid significantly more than the females. The females, it appears, have worked themselves to death at very minimal money, and then Diddy turning these female employees into sex slaves and different things like that. But the men seem like they got it a little bit better than the rest. A lot better. Well, we won't say little. Court is running a little late after the mid-morning recess. Sean Combs sat in the courtroom the entire time. At one point, he was the only person at the defense table, where he shuffled through his papers and wrote some notes. Goes on to say, most of the attorneys are back now, milling around. We haven't heard much from Westmoreland. She was a later addition to the Combs defense team. She has only cross-examined one witness, and that would be Dawn Richard. Diddy has something with Westmoreland, because I think it's more of a friendship, because we also heard that Westmoreland and Diddy's mom, Janice, embracing numerous times inside the courtroom. All right, so here you go. He testifies. What's your role? What's your role? CFO. CFO. Chief Financial Officer. How were your bonuses determined? He says company results and my performance. AUSA, were you responsible for managing Combs's personal finances? Combs's personal money man. Yes, at times during my tenure, he says. He goes on to say, question, AUSA, who was your supervisor? Who was your supervisor? He goes on to say, sometimes to Mr. Combs himself. How often did you interact with Mr. Combs? A couple of times a week. Later, he became more of a chairman, head of the table, aka mafia boss. How did you communicate with him? He said back then, pagers. Beep, 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 beepers. Back then, remember, he came in 1998. Yeah, that's what they were. I remember that. Beepers. Beepers and Nokia 5160 phones. This is 1998. This is the same time. It's a Nokia 5160. 1998. Like Nokia phones. 5160s back then. But pagers. Or you've got the big bags in the phones. Pagers. Pagers. Started in 1998. Remember 1998? Pagers. Not many people had cell phones at the time. Cell phones started. As soon as it went to analog to digital, these phones started popping up. This is before the BlackBerry. All right, so he's responsible for the finances. He met with Combs at the time a couple times a week. Combs eventually became chairman, the head of the chair. What does chairman mean to you? Chairman. He became chairman. All right, let's see the NBC update. That means he runs the show. How dare you go against the chairman, King Combs? The government has called its next witness, Derek Ferguson, who held several executive titles at Sean Combs's and to companies, including Chief Financial Officer for Bad Boy from 1998 to 2012, wearing a dark suit and glasses. Ferguson told the jury he is testifying under subpoena. Subpoena. Got the subpoena. It's all about the subpoena. Oh. Next question. Who is this? Uncle Paulie picture shown. Dun, dun, dun. Bodyguards. Ferguson says that's Paul. And these individuals. Oh boy. Ferguson. That's Roger Bonds. And that's D-Rock. They were security. Mr. Combs is the sole owner? Ferguson says yes, 100% of Bad Boy Productions and Films. Sole owner. So right off the rip, prosecution shows Ferguson pictures of the goons. And I say the goons, right? The bodyguards. Paulie, Roger Bonds, D-Rock. They didn't show Ruben, but three back then, it's Diddy, 100% sole owner of Bad Boy. Owns 100% of it and films. And then you got these bodyguards. His bodyguards. Bonds, Pauly, D-Rock. Enterprise. It's the firm. It's the firm. Yo. Diddy's people, all the way from the beginning. The henchmen, the ones that do his dirty work. Mac Daddy's in crime. Mac Daddy, Mac Daddy, Mac Daddy, Mac Daddy. Remember that song? Oh man, this is not good. I don't. Whoa. If I was Diddy, I'd be sitting, sweating in the hot seat. Dude is literally Money Man is testifying against him. The money bags. His personal money guru is testifying against him right now. Unbelievable. And the prosecution wants to know, showing him photographs. Jury just saw the photographs of his goons, inner circle. Man.
Goons.
And that's why he's human resources. It's all a facade. They're saying it's a gigantic money laundering operation. It's a front. That's what the prosecutors are saying about Bad Boy. It's a front. It's a front. So we'll see. This is bad. This is really bad. We're getting into RICO right now. You might hit me up with the RICO. They might hit him up with the RICO. They got him with the RICO. How? We're about to hear how. Here we go. Look. Cassie, Roger Bonds, D-Rock. His inner circle. Prosecution asks Mr. Ferguson about it. So we're stuck on that, where we're at here, so we're just waiting. I can't wait to hear what's saying. Yo, this is getting good. And the tweets are back up, so Twitter, no more problem now, so everything's running smoothly. We had a little hiccups about a half hour ago, but we're back on track. And I'm ready. Different screens, what's being said. So I moved on from Eddie Garcia. They're still doing updates on Eddie Garcia on some of these mainstream medias, but we're not even going to go on Eddie Garcia anymore. We'll do recaps on him later. But right now, it's all about the Benjamins. AUSA, what was his role? Ferguson says creative and marketing. AUSA, did some ventures have partners? Ferguson goes, Bad Boys with Arista, also with Warner, and the clothing line. The clothing line. What were the profits? Very profitable, he says. Very, very profitable. Of course, making a lot of money. What are you going to do with all that money? How are you going to launder that money? Where are you going to put all that money? How are you going to bank all that money that you were making? About to get the inner workings. Very profitable. Business ventures. Bad Boy Records. Clothing line. Very, very profitable, he says. Here we go. Here we go. Profitable. It's all about the profits, baby. It's all about the profits. Profitable Bad Boy Entertainment Clothing Line Enterprise RICO. You might hit me up with the RICO. Yo, this is not good for Diddy. It's not good where this direction's going. Oh my goodness. All right, so let's look. Let's look. I'll continue to refresh the screen. I'm ready. Mr. Ferguson. Should Ferguson feel fear for his life? Does he have anything to worry about? What are the profits? We're still stuck on the profits. I want to know what's going on. Plus, we probably got a lunch break in the next 20 minutes. So I just want to let everyone know. The former CFO who worked for Diddy for almost 2 decades, is now on the stand. 1998 to 2017. Ferguson, Derek Ferguson. And now he's name dropped. Bonds, D-Rock, Paul. He called him Paul. Unless that's a typo. Paul, Paulie. Uncle Paulie. Okay. Here we go. How was Mr. Combs paid? Ferguson says sometimes salary, sometimes distributions from the companies. What is a distribution? If solely owned or passed through like an S corp, the owner determines to draw down. Did each have a bank account? Yes. Getting into the banking. It's all about the banking.
All about the bank man.
Or passed through an S corp.
All electric.
The owner determines to draw down. Yes. Profits. Very profitable. He's talking about salaries. How was Mr. Combs paid? Salary, distributions from companies. Companies, distributions. Did each have a bank account? Yes. All right, we're about to get into some bank accounts, banking. I think that takes us back to the bank that they were talking about, Signature Bank. Signature Bank.
You have a message.
Yeah. Waiting to see. Diddy's in some trouble. He's in trouble. George is like, oh, we now know how it all works.
Mm-hmm.
The banking guy. No updates on the Washington Post. No updates on NBC. And CNN does not have any updates. So we are sitting here waiting for more information about the financial aspects of Bad Boy. Oh man, there was a crazy sketch. Let me see if I can snatch this up. There was a crazy sketch in the courtroom with the Diddy looking at the screen of him kicking Cassie. That's pretty vicious. I'll see if I can find it. It's on a video here. Let me see if I can expand on that. It's a crazy photo. Like he literally looked at the photo here. They have an art sketch in the courtroom. I'm gonna see if I can snatch this photo here. Problem is it's on a video, so it's hard for me to peel off. Combs watched this. Pretty crazy. I'll find it in a bit. Meantime, Ferguson is on the stand, and here we go. Could you sign on the accounts? Yes. Which banks did the Combs companies use? Citibank, HSBC Bank, and Signature Bank. Banks, 3 banks. Oh. Which is this one?
That's the Illuminati Bank.
Janice Combs Music, Inc. It furnished his name and likeness. He had a bank account called Janice Combs Music, Inc. He had a bank account in the name of his mom. His mom's in court. His mom just got name dropped. Oh my God, is she part of this conspiracy?
Of course.
Is that why she's there? Oh boy.
Oh, the wig coming off now.
Oh boy. Not a good look for Diddy's mom going on right now. He just name dropped Janice Combs Music, Inc. of one of the bank accounts. Which is this one? It furnished his name and likeness. Oh boy. Diddy putting bank
Diddle,
accounts
diddle,
of moms
diddle.
in a company called Janice Combs Music Inc. Oh man, everyone's getting name dropped on this one. All the bodyguards, now his mom's name's thrown in the mix. His mom's there. She just heard her own name get dropped. Yeah, I wonder what no one has dropped Janice Combs' mom's name. I don't believe, like, in a serious matter throughout this whole trial. I believe her name was mentioned one other time by somebody, maybe Cassie, but nothing like bad about her or anything like that. But now she just got name dropped. King Combs. King, I'm a king. Maybe that's why he named his son King Combs, maybe. King. Oh man, this is crazy. All right, so we're still on standby here. What's happening here? Plot twist, Magnolia says, what about if Janice is the final boss? You know, we've talked about the history of Diddy. And we shared just last week, you know, the timeline about Diddy and these events that happened in his life take you all the way back to Janice's apartment. And someone making accusations that Diddy did things to people in Janice's apartment way back in the 70s. Oh boy. May said it. His mom's got the receipts.
Uh-oh.
You really think that Diddy set up a company under Janice Combs Music Inc. without consulting with his mom first? He just decided, hey mom, or not even tell his mom at all, I got a business set up in your name. Janice Combs Music. It wouldn't shock me. Matter of fact, I should check the Better Business Bureau and try to find out who. I'm going to look more into Janice Combs Music. I'm just going to Google that name, see what comes up. Maybe some info comes up while we're waiting for the next bombshell to drop. Janice Combs Music. Janice Combs Publishing. New York Government, 2000. Janice Combs Publishing Inc., Janice Combs Music Inc. So there's also a Janice Combs Publishing Inc., by the way. I just looked it up. It's in the New York.gov tax reports here. Let me see if I can find anything on it. I'm going to have to push around more. We don't have time right now. Looks like there's also Janice Combs Publishing, by the way. Wonder what that's about. All right, here we go. Mr. Ferguson, are these your initials in section 4? Question mark. Yes. It was 9/29/2009. Is this also a business checking account? Yes. And this one, with his vodka brand, and Diego.
Sarah.
How was this account funded? Inflows. Inflows. All right, so we're getting into now Ferguson involved in some of the checking accounts here, going to 9/29/09. So about 10 years. 10 years into this. From the time he started working. Now, his initials are on a business checking account. What's going to be said here? Inflows. How was this account funded? Inflows. Dun, dun, dun. What's going on here? What's going on? Inflows, Janice Combs music. Okay, what about credit cards? Primarily American Express. You know, did he be rapping about the unlimited black card? I got the American. Or something like, I don't write blank checks, I use American Express. Expense reimbursements. Did Mr. Combs have an American Express? Yes. Did he use it for as well as professional?
You have a message.
Did the companies paid? Yes. He had an American Express card that he used for both personal and professional. Remember, I just reported earlier that his son, Christian Combs, got sued by American Express last year for not paying a $17,000 bill. American Express. Did he have an American Express card? Ooh, what's he buying on his American Express card? Has RICO been proven already? RICO could have been proven already. It's quite possible, folks. This is bad for Diddy, because this guy right now is dropping news, and he's saying all the business. We want to know about the money. Let's talk about the money. It's all about the Benjamins. CNN puts out, ex-finance chief testifies he and Combs were signatures, both signed onto company bank accounts. They were both on business accounts during his tenure with Combs' company. Prosecutor Slavic is reviewing bank records for various business bank accounts for Combs' entity. It's all about the finances, baby. It's all about the finance, baby. It's all about the Benjamins. That's what we're talking about, the Benjamins. All Benjamin talk. Chirac Baka. Chirac. Where we at? Alright, so we are waiting here to see what happens with this, folks. Come on in. See a lot of people starting to pile in. The CFO is testifying about finances and the inner workings of Bad Boy Enterprises in its early days, including name dropping Janice Combs Music, INC, different banks and business accounts, and personal and professional American Express accounts have been mentioned. This man has been working for Diddy for almost 2 decades. And we're waiting for the next bomb to be dropped here. Almost 2 decades. He knows the stuff. No update yet. Where is the update? When Derek Ferguson became Sean Combs' chief financial officer in 1998, Combs was very involved in the company and they spoke regularly. Combs' business expanded into multiple companies, ventures, and partnerships during Ferguson's employment, which lasted until 2017. It included Bad Boy Productions, Bad Boy Marketing, and Bad Boy Films, all solely owned by Combs. At times, Ferguson was in charge of his personal finances. Combs always drove the creative, marketing, and product management of his companies, Ferguson testified, but in time became more of a chairman than an active manager. Most of his businesses were profitable, the former CFO said. And Combs drew salaries from several of them. All right. We got some money laundering going on. Do we have some fraud going on? Stand by. Stand by is dropping. We got some fraud. Money laundering. Conspiracy. How was the outgoing cash handled? Ferguson. We had a petty cash account and cash advances. For example, for those traveling who didn't have an American Express card. When Mr. Combs was paid in cash, how did it work? He goes on to say, we match it if a contract. We match it. If Mr. Combs was paid in cash, how did it work? Dude, they're talking about money laundering here.
You have a message.
Ways for Combs to be paid. We're going to get more details here and put this all together and find out what the heck is he talking about. Some of this talk is foreign to me. But he is talking about just how he was paid, how other people would be paid. RICO case signed, sealed, and delivered. Has RICO already been proven by what he's already saying? Outgoing cash. Okay. Were you aware of Mr. Combs' security staff carrying cash for him? Ferguson says, I was not aware of that. And were you responsible for his personal finances? What did you do? Budget for a year. AUSA says properties. He goes inflows and outflows. All right. He was responsible for Diddy's personal finances, both inflows and outflows, and the prosecution asked about properties, but he didn't say yes or no on that, but I'm assuming he's also responsible for properties because the prosecution asked that. Whoa. Goes on to say, former head of finance describes how Combs would use his corporate credit card. Derek Ferguson, the chief financial officer, describes how Combs would use his corporate credit card. Ferguson, the former chief financial officer for Diddy's record label, said most senior executives at Bad Boy had American Express corporate cards, including Combs. Ferguson testified that Combs would charge business and personal expenses on his card from time to time. He said members of his team would determine which business or entity a charge pertained to and then use that business's account to pay off that charge. Okay, we're getting into the inner workings. Money. Inflows and outflows. Properties. We're getting into properties, inflows, and outflows. All right, NBC News does not have a new update in reference to this topic. So, either does Washington Post. We're back at CNN. And I read the latest, so we're still stuck on this a little bit. We'll see where this goes. Man, what's he gonna say? With carrying large sums of money in their possession, Is he going to talk about bags of money, envelopes of money, how they carried money across interstate lines, on flights? What's he going to say here? Do they just have bags of money all over the place? We shall see. Come on in. A lot of people coming in the chat. They want to know what's up with Bad Boy. What's up with Janice Combs Music INC? What's up with all these accounts? It's all about the money. It's all about the Benjamins. All right, we're stuck on inflows and outflows. So, waiting. Inflows and outflows. Man, dropping the T. Under a subpoena, by the way. He received he's on a subpoena. He's there because he got a subpoena. Corporate credit cards. Subpoenas. Yes. Right. Nothing on the NBC report. Let me look at Independent. Let me go to Independent. Diddy, Independent. And I'm trying to find out who got kicked out of the courtroom at the same time today, like an actual name. Oh, we got a photograph of the woman that got kicked out of the courtroom today. I'll get that together. I got the photograph of the woman that got kicked out of the courtroom. So we'll post that shortly. She got escorted by 3 marshals. It's all about the finances. It's all about the Benjamins. All right, waiting to see what exactly. All right, here we go. Update. What properties did he own? The Hamptons, New York, Miami. They were held in LCCs for anonymity and liability reduction and tax benefits. Properties. I guess LLCs. They put LCCs, LLCs. They were held in LLCs for anonymity and liability reduction and tax benefits. Did you oversee other personal accounts of Mr. Combs? Yes. Were you aware of him supporting other people? Yes. From his personal earnings. AUSA, Your Honor, this might be a good time for us to take a break, lunch break. So right when we're getting into it with the money and the finances, now we have a lunch break. So I want to let everyone know in the chat, we have a lunch break. We'll have the typical, they might not go for long, by the way. I don't know how long they're going to go for lunch break. Maybe 1 o'clock. Yesterday, they started back up at 1. So just to let everyone know. Sometimes it's 1:15, 1. So we are on lunch break. It appears. If the prosecution asks for a break, we're on break. Now would be a good time to take a break. LLCs. Meaning, folks, properties, Hamptons. We got Miami, we got Los Angeles, multiple properties that this guy has to avoid liability. Yes. All right, lunch break. So let me see what's being said. Less than a minute ago, we have ex-finance chief testifies he wasn't aware Combs' security carried cash for him. His security carrying cash for him. Derek Ferguson, the former chief financial officer for Diddy, said he was not aware that Combs's security cash for him, or carry cash for him, is something he didn't pay attention to. During his tenure, he said there were periods when third parties were engaged to handle Combs's personal finance, and other times it was internally managed. Former CFO says paying performers in cash was a common practice during his early years working for Combs. Goes on to say, Ferguson, the former chief financial officer, testified that cash payments were an industry norm 20 years ago. He said it was not uncommon, especially during his early years working for Combs, that performers would be paid in cash, and a performer's manager would at times bring cash to the finance department to be processed. Cash. Everything at the time, cash. I don't know what's going on out here. They must be waiting for Combs's family to come out for lunch. What we are paying attention to here. So lunch appears to be about it's going to be pretty quick. I don't know if they're running out of schedule or what, or running off schedule. Jury does break for lunch, so we are on a lunch break. It will be at 1:15. They say 1:15, so they got a half-hour lunch break. Money, cash has been exchanged between parties as a form of payment back in the day. That was the norm, he said. Charting out a trail of money. NBC News says, although most of Ferguson's early testimony has been procedural, it is potentially crucial to the government's case. He had been asked to verify a laundry list of bank accounts, real estate holdings, credit cards, and other financial records connected to Combs's enterprises, and confirmed that the defendant had power over these funds. It goes on to say, though most of the headline-grabbing testimony so far this trial has dealt with SA and other incidents of alleged acts of violence, Combs' real problems would be any evidence that he might have run a criminal enterprise to pull off these suspected crimes. So what I think is he's going to say over time is, when things bad happened, I'm speculating here where we're going with this. He might say how he paying for things in certain ways, or paying people off, how they're like write-offs, or how he does that, or how the money gets distributed out, or how it gets paid in the form of payment on these accounts. I think a lot of that's going to be talked about after lunch. People are lining up to see the family when they come out. And it looks like it's only one son and his mom, but his mom got name dropped. So did the bodyguards. Mom got name dropped, so did bodyguards. We are at lunchtime. It is lunchtime, folks. Continuous coverage of the Sean P. Diddy Combs trial. Welcome aboard. JLR Investigates as we watch this case in real time. Listen in. I'm going to take a 2-minute break. Right back.
The Diddy trial. But he's facing the wrong way. It's going to get loud, so anybody who's never really followed them, a lot of people don't know who this is.